Hey, Joe Zarzaur here to talk about e-scooters in downtown Pensacola. We did a video initially when the Bird scooters, stand-up scooters, were first released. We talked about their arbitration agreement, all the things you waive by agreeing to the various forms on the app when you sign up. There's been, obviously, that was a learning curve. There's a lot of positivity with this stuff because it allows for less cars to be on the road, theoretically, downtown. And so the theory is the less cars that are on the road downtown, the less congestion there is, the less parking issues there are, the less potential for car wrecks because there's less vehicles, the less potential for pedestrian versus car incidents goes down because you have less congestion. But that's when you have basically full participation in these scooters, right? And everybody signs on to them. Until that happens, you've got a combination of cars and scooters, which is a dangerous mix. We've talked about that, but I want to drive that home again. The dangerousness of these scooters is not only that you being injured by your own negligence for being on a scooter and doing a wheelie, or being on a scooter and running into something stationary like a wall or curb, right, and injuring yourself, or stepping off a scooter while it's going too fast and you twist your ankle or break it. We have gotten many calls about those kind of injuries, okay? And I would urge you to understand that these scooters, even if they occasionally have some kind of mishap, right, and they don't function properly, you are signing away your rights to complain about that by agreeing to the app. So you're basically getting on a scooter and you're saying, if anything's wrong with this scooter and causes me to be injured, I understand and I accept any responsibility for that. I'm not going to blame them. Even if things, suddenly breaks without expectation, or suddenly stops working without expectation and causes you to be injured, there's little you can do through the legal system. Just know that, okay? Now, the other big concern that we have, see, we're located at Palafox and Ramada, so we're right in the middle of all this. We're ground level, or at least part of the office is ground level, and we have a lot of windows, so we see all this happening. And what I am seeing is a lot of interaction between scooters and vehicles.
Here it is, the Bird scooter. They've been with us since about last July, and since then, the city and the police department say that these have racked up a number of complaints against them. Now, there are some people that I spoke with today that feel these are a great addition to the city. However, there are others that believe this program should be brought to an end.
And the interaction I'm seeing is not positive in the sense that scooters are ending up in the street in front of vehicles trying to turn left or right, and they are causing potential injuries, and there are in some cases, collisions. And we've done a blog on this to discuss how your car insurance actually may play a role in that if you're on a scooter and get injured. And so it's really important that you consult a lawyer if you're in one of those situations. But the city just passed a new ordinance that basically says you can't operate the scooters after midnight on weekends, and they're saying you can't operate them on the sidewalks. You only can park them on the sidewalks. That means they're all going to be in the street, right, which is going to be a little more potential for injury with a vehicle. So the ordinance also added more streets to the list of streets that they could be on. Those streets are not just in the heart of downtown. Those streets are where people actually drive fairly fast. 9th Avenue, Cervantes, Barrancas, like really fast sometimes, right? So that is a little alarming to me. And then there's also now these scooters that you sit on that are more like little motorcycle type scooters, which will enable even, I guess, older and younger people, less coordinated perhaps, to ride these scooters, most of which will not have their helmets with them because they didn't think they were going to be doing this. So they get on unprotected, waiving their rights to any defect in the device or the vehicle, and then they hop on in the middle of a street in the area of town that has the most concentration of bars. Okay? So, long and short of it is, it's a recipe for a bad result. I hope that's not the case. But I'm concerned, and the reason I'm doing this video is I want people to be aware that when they're downtown in their vehicle, their car, there's going to be perhaps more of these scooters around. They can't be on the sidewalk, so don't get mad at them for not being on the sidewalk. They can't be on the sidewalk while they're moving. And so move over, right? Make space for them. There's a 3-foot rule in regards to those kind of things, just like bikes. You need to get out of their way, right? This is downtown. Maybe you should park your car on the perimeter and maybe even ride one of these scooters, right? But I would always suggest that you have a bike helmet with you so that you can put the helmet on when you're riding the scooter. I don't think it's safe to do it otherwise. There has been a 70% increase in ER visits due to e-scooters, e-bikes, and hoverboards between 2017 and 2020. 70%. Okay? This trend is only going to go up here locally because we're getting more and more of these devices on public roads. And the more public roads they're involved with or allowed to go on where the speed limit is higher, the greater chance, in my opinion, of even worse injuries. So I hope not. If you have any questions about the new ordinance, e-scooter injury or hoverboard injury, anything like that, you can find us on the web at zarzaurlaw.com or you can call us at 855-HIRE-JOE. Thank you.